Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today I'd like to continue on with the viewer questions that you so very kindly submitted to this channel a few months back. And that brings us to the question from friend and viewer of the channel, Deep Chocolate. So hello, Deep Chocolate. I hope you are well. And you ask, or you say, I have about 3 questions I would love you to answer, but you may choose what you want, of course. Number 1, what are your thoughts on To Sleep with Anger by Charles Burnett? Number 2, what do you think is the most underrated film in the Criterion Collection? Number 3, what are your favorite films on music? Great, thank you very much. This is thank you, Deep Chocolate. Thank you so much. And so to your first question about To Sleep with Anger, this is, again, another one of my great regrets, which was I didn't speak about the Criterion Collection release of To Sleep with Anger, which occurred a year or so ago. I really should have, but I didn't. And so that's what a film that is, and what a release that was. And so maybe I should try to remedy that one of these days, going backwards in terms of the Criterion releases. I did try to cover as many Criterion releases as I could, but I dropped the ball, and so I really have to apologize for that. But that is another stellar one. As for your next question, you ask, what do you think is the most underrated film in the Criterion Collection? That's a really interesting question. And again, my perspective, I think, is quite limited. And so I don't have a full grasp as to say what all the conversations and what all the critical and popular attention has been given to each work. So I don't have a real set feeling on what that is for each work in the Criterion Collection. So I really can't say with any degree of confidence. However, maybe based on my own subjective perspective, what I think maybe gets a lot of attention in some areas versus what maybe doesn't get attention in others. So in that latter group, we can call, say, the underrated films. Films that maybe don't get as much attention but are still really exciting, really fantastic in their own way, in their own reasons. For instance, maybe something like there is a great release from Criterion which is called Science is Fiction, 23 films by Jean Painlevé, and it's been one of my, again, another kind of dream project, as it were, to maybe speak in some way on that particular release here on this channel, and maybe 23 short discussions or something. I don't know. I really didn't think about it, or didn't think of it through yet, because nothing has materialized. But that is a very interesting approach. Again, it's kind of a really fascinating perspective that's contained within those works. And so that's one that I'm not sure has been spoken about as often as, say, other Criterion Collection titles. Maybe another work that, let's see, I mean, I have spoken about a little bit here on this channel, would be maybe something like the great release, the 2 takes, Symbiocycle Taxoplasm. Wow. If you haven't seen that Criterion release, get it. It's amazing. It's amazing, and it's so meta. Every time I just going in there and I'm thinking, what am I watching? What layer of reality am I watching? It's fascinating, so fascinating. And let's see. Oh, here's another one, an early one. It's a DVD, an early DVD from Criterion. I forget the spine number offhand, but it's I want to say maybe it's in the hundreds or so. Please, someone correct me if I'm mistaken. This is the work, the work which is called The Ruling Class. The Ruling Class, and the cover. This is the Medak work, and the cover has the close-up picture of Peter O'Toole, who stars in this film, The Ruling Class. I've spoken a little bit about this film on this channel, maybe in earlier videos. If you can find that video, please check it out if you can. But the work, The Ruling Class, and The Ruling Class, this is amazing. This is so amazing. This is a comedy and a horror film combined in such an extraordinary, remarkable way. It is laugh out loud. There's a particular line of dialogue that is spoken by the Peter O'Toole character, and it's like it just comes out of nowhere, and he says it, and it's talking about love and devotion in the context of marriage. And it just suddenly comes out of nowhere. And I remember when I first saw the film and that line came up, and it was just, I just ever since then I was just laugh out loud. Every time I see it, especially at that particular moment, I just laugh out loud. It's one of the funniest things. And it's just laugh out loud, just hilarious. And then it's also this incredibly disturbing, creepy, and frightening film, and the way it's able to combine these two is just a feat. It's extraordinary. So the Ruling Class, again, that's one that I've spoken a little bit about here, but maybe not enough, and that's also to my own. I really should try to remedy that more, but. And that's another great one. And maybe last but not least, I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. Fishing with John, one of the early DVD releases from Criterion. Maybe compared to the more recent releases, it might be said to be somewhat light or bare bones in terms of supplements or things of that sort. But I think it's great. It is so great. Fishing with John. That's another one where, oh gosh, I was so close. There was a point maybe around, I want to say the end of the year, last year, the beginning of this year, where I was about to do a type of discussion on Fishing with John on this channel. And I would focus on each of the episodes and do a discussion episode on Fishing with John. I really want to do that, by the way, but who knows? We'll do this. So just Fishing with John. If you haven't seen Fishing with John, please check it out. Please check it out. It's great, really great. So there are many others. There are many others, but I will now maybe turn the attention or turn the question to you, and maybe we can address other maybe so-called underrated titles in the comment section below. So anyone who's interested, please let me know in the comment section below what you think as to what some of those titles could be. And then your last question, just returning to the questions from Deep Chocolate, you ask, what are your favorite films on music? So there are so many, and maybe I don't know if I can provide any favorites lists. I'm so sorry about that, but I can say that at the moment, or just it's really lovely timing because I am just about I've just about completed, shall I say, my initial exploration of the recent Criterion, at least recent as of the time of my making of this video response, the recent Criterion release of the here we go. Yes, the original cast album Company, and so this is the recent release of that work, and D.A. Pennebaker, and this is covering that primarily one night of the recording of the original cast of this musical, which is called Company, and this is from 1970. And so This is really covering an aspect of music and music making and composition, and the differences between the A note and the F sharp note, as Stephen Sondheim mentions in one particular moment, which is fascinating to me. I'm not a musician, and so these elements, as they're presented here, are so fascinating to me. A lot of it goes over my head, but what I'm able to grasp, I find, is really, and you see the art of the recording session, and you see what are the intricacies of recording, and what are the pitfalls and the risks of recording. There's a particular very famous aspect of this film, and I'll talk about this in a separate video, but there's a very famous aspect talking about a particular attempt of recording a song. This is fascinating. It's like this is like a suspense film in many ways, and so that maybe is an example of something that I've seen recently that I find very, very fascinating. Again, from my perspective, someone who's not a musician, but the idea of not just the music itself, but also the craft that is needed in order to prepare or to put together this aspect of music, the recording session. Things I'm not familiar with, and so these are all brilliant showcases from the filmmakers and the artists who are involved. So that's an example. But again, Deep Chocolate, thank you very much for the great questions, and I hope you're well. And again, for you and for everyone else, what do you think of, how would you respond to these questions? I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. So thank you very much, and until we meet again, please be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great movies. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. I very much appreciate it. Stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.